But I guess do any of the rest of you feel like by putting your work out, sending your work out into a larger audience, which is what we're trying to do, to a larger LGBT audience, also to a larger, even straight audience, as we're trying to get our work out there, especially with the internet, you don't know where this work is going to go, who's going to buy it, who's going to interact with it. Do you feel like some of the in-jokes or the kind of stuff that you understand, maybe your community understands, will not be understood in a larger context? Does that bother you? Does that?
I think it's kind of it's a business thing. I mean, if you think of this as a publishing business where you're creating content, you want to sell it, you want to promote it and sell it. It's a consideration. It's not, since it's an artistic medium as well. You can't be constrained entirely by your business realities, right? You can't say, I don't want to offend anybody, therefore I'm going to make the most bland, won't offend anybody, but it won't excite anybody either, So I think it's something you consider, and you make sure that maybe you modify your marketing, you modify the way that you're going to do outreach. Maybe you get pull quotes and you get endorsements from people who, to make sure that people know where you're coming from. Make sure, like when you're talking with your friends and you call somebody bitch or whatever, they know who you are and they know where you're coming from. But when you're talking to somebody at a convention that you don't know, or somebody who's a potential reader that you don't know, they don't necessarily know what you mean by it. And so, anything you can do to clarify that, to make sure that people know that you're on their side, those kind of things are the things you need to do. Maybe not change the work, but maybe just make sure that you're presenting it the right way and promoting it.
Every line you draw, though, is kind of a law, and every line you draw is like a line in the sand. I mean, there's nothing that you think is innocuous that people can't misinterpret or be offended by. I mean, I've gotten criticized, well, you draw characters with muscles, so that means you think other people who don't have those things, have those bodies are subhuman, or you're only interested in one thing. And I think art tends to, they put idealized depictions of humanity out there, but so, I mean, it is kind of funny. It's maybe reconsider, not reconsider, but you're drawing people that you find sexually attractive or interesting, does that alienate people who aren't those people? Right. I mean, it's a legitimate question, but whether, like saying it's like the work's illegitimate, you can't take it seriously because there's good-looking people in it, that seems like a ridiculous kind of premise for art. I mean, you don't not go to Hollywood movies because there's attractive people in them, right? It's
because art is personal as well, a personal statement, and that's a good art oftentimes, a very personal statement.
I think I was sort of surprised a little bit that I started to garner a heterosexual sort of readership, especially a straight male readership, because I thought my stuff is so inherently queer, and I don't actually use the words bear or gay or queer or anything like that in the comic. I feel like if you open it, it's just wide open and it's there. It's pretty obvious. But what that sort of ended up doing was making it kind of safe for other people to go into the book and read it and take what they wanted from it too. And a lot of the humor I just consider to be erotic. But it also walks the line of, I call it the Galifianakis factor, where you see a movie like The Hangover, and Zach Galifianakis is like futzing around with his jockstrap, and all the guys in the audience, the straight guys, are like, ew, gross. All of my friends are like, wow, that's really hot. And that's like the line that I sort of am starting to develop now, like starting from the first issue, and every issue I get response, obviously. That's sort of what I'm kind of working with right now. And actually, I was trying to talk to everybody this weekend about the show Trailer Park Boys. Does anybody know that show at all? Okay, good, there are a few people. I just recently discovered that show, and it's very much sort of walking that same line. It's sort of constructed, I would say, for a heterosexual audience, be it Canadian or American, but it has this sweetness to it, and it has this definitely a strong homoerotic undercurrent in it that I really it's got a lot of cats in it, and my comic has a lot of cats in it. So I had all these like touchstones kind of happening, and all the three leads are like these big oafy guys, and it just sort of, it was like, how did I never hear of this before? But I hate to sort of suddenly morph into a pitchman for Trailer Park Boys, but it's on Netflix, and I strongly encourage anybody that likes. It's sort of like a faux documentary style comedy. to check it out. But I definitely sort of am now kind of finding my place, and I'm not so concerned with just sort of securing one type of audience anymore. I think that, you know, and I'm interested in getting it obviously into the bookstores that everybody else is talking about, because it kind of walks that line, the content is walking that line.
And you're okay with not every audience that's going to read your book getting all of the jokes?
Oh, sure.
Because I think there's that one story where you've got the Smusher character coming into what is clearly a parody.
The Lone Star, yeah.
So Lone Star is a bear, you know, the kind of first bear bar in San Francisco, and it has it where instead of bears, they're all boars. They're all boars.
Yeah, so it's all pig iconography. It's like hooves and snouts.
Which isn't that big a change.
Pointing. No, it's a shift of understanding what you mean in that comic, but it's drawn in such a way that it's cutesy that I haven't ever been confronted about, you know, how potentially mean that is. I mean, it wasn't intended to be over the top mean, but certainly it was like a little bit of a critique.
But that's a joke that your straight people wouldn't ever get all those nuances. And then also,
but it becomes a different joke. I mean, I read it more as like this is a strange place, but not that it stands in for a different real place necessarily. I mean, it's funny enough like that. And so really,
you can't guess what people are going to get and just put it out there and just sort of get back the feedback. I mean, a lot of people, they don't even really focus too much on the male aspect of it. They just want to talk about cats. Right. You know, there's like this little interaction between these cat communities.
So, and then also, I mean, humor itself, what you said, what you're worried whether it could be construed as mean. Well, I mean, humor is kind of inherently has a mean aspect. I mean, that's part of humor.
Well, certainly parody or satire can be taken a number of ways.
Yeah. All right.
So for the 3 grant recipients, if you one key piece of advice you would give to anybody planning on applying this year in the future, and there's going to be a flip side to that soon, but Justin.
I would suggest that the business plan and kind of statement of purpose and all that, check your spelling. Like, I know that sounds really crazy, but like, there's the work, you know, and obviously that's the most important part of the grant. But you know, the rest of it, there's the statement of purpose and the business plan and all that. You know, and it's kind of shocking how spell check, and like having like really glaring grammatical mistakes really is not, it's definitely going to count against one. And it's a very simple fix. So get an edit, always have someone else, whatever you put out, even if you think it's perfect, always have someone else look at it. And that's true with the creative work as well, but especially like a business proposal, like spelling mistakes.
Yeah, I was an art professor for years, and I was always amazed, like students turning in journal entries and stuff like that. So there is spell check. But I mean, nothing sort of subverts all your hard work more than coming off a process sort of like very professional.
It's such an easy fix.
I mean, it's like being at a convention and nobody tells you all day that you have like barbecue sauce on your shirt. You're not going to sell as many comics, probably.
I mean, just to sort of add what I said earlier really quickly, I would think about what you're proposing, just sort of how it fits into the larger sort of landscape of just the queer comics genre, the LGBT genre. I would say, think carefully about it, think thoughtfully. Like I said, I kind of had some sort of revelations about what I was doing based on just thinking about how I could speak about it on a sort of grander scale and how I kind of fit into all the stuff that I've been reading and discovering for the last few years.
I would say just have something to say, and if it's an uphill battle, it's Sisyphean, and there's a lot of obstacles, and there's no financial reward in it, and you're going to give up a lot of your time, and it is a real brain suck. It's really rewarding, but it's really frustrating at the same time. You've got to want it, and so if you want it, nothing's going to stop you from doing it. So the business plan is just going to almost be an afterthought. If you want it, you've got something to say, then it's going to be full steam ahead. Nothing's going to stop you.
So Zan, in addition to the joys of spell checking, do you have any great object lessons from, let's be gentle and say, almost winners from previous years?
So I do want to preface it by saying that we haven't had any train wreck submissions at all. I mean, there's been things that we've been kind of scratching our heads a little bit, and things that were incomplete. But everybody has promise, and everybody has, they have something inside them that's worth getting out there. But some people are further along than others, so I'll just preface it by saying that. I think that making sure that you're complete, making sure that you've submitted the application and provided everything that's been asked of you. And if you're not sure, again, go ahead and submit it early. Say, hey, if there's anything missing from my submission, let me know. And we'll make sure that you get your submission submitted completely, because we want you to submit a complete application. We want to review as many complete submissions as possible. So it's mostly about that. You want to make sure that you're sending your work at a high enough resolution, because it's all going to be digital submission. Make sure that you send your work at a high enough resolution that we can review it properly, make sure it's presented well. Make sure that you take the time to sit down and think of it as you're pitching to a publisher, or you're pitching to, you want to get it reviewed in a magazine or something like that. Try and couch it as this is the advertisement, or this is the promotion for my work, and impress us. Try to really make an impression on us. Make sure that we know what you're about and what your work is about, and what you want to do. So, yeah, just polish it up, polish it up.
Great, and thanks so much. Time rushes by, and right at about the time I was going to ask everybody for questions, it's time to go.
I think most of us will be at the mixer tonight, though. So if you have any questions, feel free to. I mean, I don't know. I don't want to make promises for the rest
My
of you.
website's on the cards that I distribute to all the people who came at the beginning. And I've been through 2 grant processes, and I'm more than happy to. I've answered questions from people who've applied before. I'm more than happy to share any information you want.
Yeah, we'll all be at the mixer.
We'll all be at the mixer.
Feel free to
Absolutely.
In addition to folks will be at the mixer, folks will be at the booth, there's also portfolio review at the booth.
Yes.
So stop by the booth, booth 46.
And the booth numbers on these gate agendas here.
Yeah. It's a nice booth. And check the times for portfolio review. There are cards with the information about the URL for the directions for the grant. And please.
We've got some really good people for portfolio review too, like Bob Schreck, I think, is there now from ILTC, Howard Cruz. Yeah, some really top-notch creators, better than all of us.
So thank our
What